Now here we are 3 years later after that initial interview. What's changed for you in the last 3 years?
A lot's changed, but I'm still the same me. I think with the face mask and all, I just felt more comfortable.
You were still an active graffiti writer, and now you are an active full-time muralist.
You want to arrest me for painting murals for kids? That's cool.
You said that you love doing things that involve the community. What started that for you?
I've just been really working hard at murals and community stuff more than graph itself. Every bartender I knew, they're all miserable because they want more. And I was like, that's not going to be me.
Hello. We're here. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? How you been?
We got our sunglasses on. Everyone
A little sleepy.
A little shady.
got our sunglasses on. It's Dan and Dan and Miss Anika Jones
Hey-o.
coming at you.
How you doing?
Another episode of Graffiti Park Radio. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
If I were any better, I'd be a twin.
There you go. I heard him say that 4 times today.
Yeah.
So this must be a good day.
It's a great day.
It must be a good day. Today is in fact a good day. We are joined by Khori, also known as Minkser.
Beautiful day out here.
It is. He is a Las Vegas-born artist with his roots in graffiti, whose work brings color, creativity, and community together across the city. As the lead in-house artist for the Graffiti Park Foundation, Khori designs and paints murals in schools, playgrounds, boys and girls clubs, rec centers, Connex boxes, you name it, transforming those spaces into vibrant reflections of local pride. His creative process centers on community engagement, often involving the students and people in those communities in hands-on workshops to explore how to compose those, design those, and make them a part in shaping the murals that brighten their environment. Mr. Minkser, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful day. That was a great intro. Thank you.
Thank you.
It sounds good.
Yeah, it was true. It was
I
dead
was
on.
good when it's written out loud.
That sounds fun.
So that guy sounds pretty cool.
I've
Huh?
just been busy is all it feels like on mine, man.
Yeah. Busy doing what?
Yeah.
Between art and action at Boys and Girls Club and picking up side jobs and stuff like that, man. Did a couple backyards and a little Connex box, like you said. Today, actually, I just finished that. That was great.
Nice.
But yeah, man, just trying to put together classes for the kids and hoping that I'm good enough to teach them, you know?
Dude, more than good enough, man. They are lucky to have you, dude. It is an honor, man. It's been a long time coming. This is episode, 15, 16?
Wow.
Maybe 17. now at
Maybe
this point.
17.
So
It's one of the
mid-teens,
teens,
yeah.
mid-teens here. You know, there's some hormones. So mid-teens, we've had quite a few artists on, and one day you were like, dude, let me get on the pod.
Several days.
And so we got you on the pod,
Yeah, man.
and we're stoked to have you, dude.
Thanks.
Well,
I'm
so
stoked
I'd
to
like
be here.
to interject and talk a little bit about that. We did a podcast a long time ago, probably 3 years ago now at this point, and it was at our very first office, and it was similar. We also had sunglasses on, but we had a whole face garb. There's a whole stigma still. You were still an active graffiti writer, and now you are an active full-time muralist, or artist, I guess would be a better way to say that. So can you just run us through that? Now here we are 3 years later after that initial interview. What's changed for you in the last 3 years, brother?
A lot's changed, but I'm still the same me, you know. I think with the face mask and all, I just felt more comfortable like that. I didn't know you guys back then, and I don't know who's watching. I'm like, I'd rather just not have my face out there. Now it's like, I mean, I don't know. You want to arrest me for painting murals for kids? That's cool. Like, I don't know. Yeah, lately I've just been really working hard at murals and stuff and community stuff more than, you know, graph itself. It's been a while actually, but yeah, it's been a great transition, man. I've been working harder than I ever have with painting and stuff like that, so it's been beautiful.
I know that our first project was in, I think, October of 2021 over at Tate Elementary School, the good old, the famous Fearless letters that are still rocking out there.
They're still haunting me.
Dude, that's one of my favorite pieces
Yeah.
of all time.
So we'll pop that up on the screen, but funny story about that is we were doing, those CCAP projects that we were once doing, and Minkser had reached out through another artist that works with us, El Mario Del Barrio, and Mario was like, hey, I got a buddy of mine that wants to come out and put some letters down. And so again, these CCAP projects were open call for artists. We provide all of the paint, the theme, everything kind of involved in those projects, and then the artist is able to come out there and just crush it. And Minkser put out, I think, arguably one of the cleanest set of letters that we've produced now in almost 5-6 years.
Wow.
And I remember us talking beforehand, well, a couple of months after that, and Minks was talking to us. He was like, dude, I was so nervous to come out there to the first event at Graffiti Park. Like, I literally threw up before that event.
Oh, man.
And I remember talking to him like, well, that's kind of like the community, the experience that we try to provide for people when they come out to these projects is, hey, don't worry about any of that stuff. Just get on there and get to the wall and crush it. And that's exactly what you did. And so that started now 5 years, I guess, up to this point now of projects and change and coming from like a moonlighting artist to where now that is your full-time profession, man. Like, that's so cool to us. And so just walk us through a little bit of that journey of like start to finish, I guess.
Well, yeah, I want to go further back.
Further
back than 2021.
I like that.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you
start there.
from?
That's a great question.
When did you get started in art?
Well, I'm from right here in Las Vegas on the like downtown district, right on the border of like East Side and Northtown. And with art, I grew up with like some b-boys, right? Like the house right across the street from me. They were b-boying over there. Yeah, break dancers. They went by Homegrown Crew. And within that crew, I would see graffiti everywhere. And the videos that they would have, it's like a lot of graffiti. So it always interested me, It was one of those things like I wanted to be a b-boy, realized, okay, I can't do all that stuff. But the graffiti was there, so I just took that along with me. And then I had been just doing it in books, like on paper and stuff. And I'm talking real young. Like I was breakdancing at like 7.
Oh my God,
so
that's
I'm
so
like,
cute.
right, I'm doing all this at like that age. And then in 5th grade, some of my crew members moved into the neighborhood, and like me and the younger brother became like best friends. And we just had all those interests, like skateboarding, breakdancing, graffiti. So it started there at a real young age, man. And then just throughout the years, I couldn't let it go, It's just one of those things that I still can't let it go, I'm not going to say I retired or anything. It's just breaks, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to pump the brakes. But throughout my whole life, I've always done it. And then coming back to Vegas, I don't know. When I saw you guys popping up online, I was like, why are all these people painting and I'm not? Like, what is going on here? I hit up Mario kind of mad. I was like, who are these dudes? But yeah, so I was following you, Bullgats, on Instagram because we had talked a long time before. I was like, what is that? That's cool. And then he told me your name. So I was following your page, your private one, like personal one anyways. And I was like, I do follow that guy. He's like, no, you got to follow their company's thing. They'll put out the call and then you just show up. So that's how I found you guys. And then was there more to that question?
I guess just the in between, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to throwing you some softball here. What were you doing? So you mentioned you came back from so we know Minkser very well, but we're trying to get all y'all out there listening to know Mr.
Tear the wall
Minkser.
down, yeah.
So obviously graffiti. And I wanted to include that in your intro, like your roots are in graffiti. Like you mentioned, like the hip hop culture of the music, the dancing, the graffiti, like all that's a part of that ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And all those players are equally important, and you find what you like, the most. And so you mentioned coming back to Vegas. You were doing some art stuff, maybe down on Fremont, right? So how were you creating? What was your creative outlet besides graffiti before you kind of started rocking with the murals?
So Mario again, man, I love that dude. He hooked me up with a job at the caricature booth on Fremont Street.
Nice.
So I did those starting in 2016.
Okay.
And I was at some job that I hated, and we went through it. Like me and the dude, I was quitting. I quit, and the dude like apologized. He was like, look, dude, well, blah, blah, blah. So they kept me for a little longer after that, but I put out the post anyways, and I was like, I'm an artist. I need art jobs, serious stuff. I'm not doing tattoos anymore. You know, like I'm not doing your tattoo idea, you know, like for 20 bucks. And then Mario put that out. He was like, I got you an interview. So I went over there and learned how to do caricatures and got humbled by that real quick. And so that was great. That turned into a love-hate thing. I was real eager to prove myself with those, and then long journey. I'm comfortable with where I'm at now and doing them. It's just kind of just one of those things. I got in my back pocket though that I can always do.
Always a source.
A little party trick, yeah. You know what I mean?
And like, and sorry, Dan. And it's like, it sounds like one of the first like actual professional outlets to like be a creative, right? You're like, you kind of, sounds like you declared yourself, I'm an artist. I'm looking for like an actual thing that can, you know, move me forward, other than like you were saying, just drawing it for the homies or whatever. How long, and I can imagine how nerve-wracking that is, especially down on Fremont, when you're, you know, people are sitting across from you, they're paying for it, or they have a certain level of expectation, may or may not have had a few. How long until you feel comfortable, or do you ever feel comfortable? Like, what was that process like for you?
Now it's cool. I have fun because I see that they're more nervous, you know. It's always, I remember getting a few of them myself. They suck, you know, like you're just like, dang, I gotta smile at you. But no, like it's fun. I have more fun with them now. I'm looser. I can talk to people. I can, you know, goof off with them to where they do smile for me, and I'm not like, can you please smile for me? Look at me and smile, please. Like, you know.
And how long did that take for you to get to
it
that
took about
comfortability point?
It took about a year or so, man.
Oh, wow.
Or even more, because the struggles of caricatures still are relevant to anyone at any point, because if the customer don't like it, doesn't matter how good you are or how good you think you are, if they don't like it, you know, they don't like it. So, and that can really throw you off. It can like really mess up the mood, where maybe it affects you personally, but also it's like the customers will see that. I've seen that happen where people go down a path after they get rejected once. The other people are like, I don't want to go to you, you know, and it may not have been bad or whatever, but it's just a stigma kind of a thing. Same thing with starting caricatures. If nobody's sitting for you, nobody wants to be the first one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's hard to get them started.
I mean, even just like, you're taking someone's likeness, right? And so you're like, what do they, you know, and every, you know, that's the human thing, right? And like, what do people love about themselves? What do they hate about themselves? And it's like, you know, if they have a mole, you put it in there, you're like, oh, it's you, it's funny. And they're like, I hate that mole. And you're like, oh,
why would you sit for it then?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I kind of read people.
Yeah.
Some husbands or wives get like suckered into it, and they're like, I have to sit here because they want it. So I'm usually nice with it. With girls, I can be real pretty with their eyes, and that usually does the trick. If you got a double chin, you know, just the eyes are pretty, and big boobs, and there you go.
No, you have a great sense for just being compassionate and reading the room and reading people. You said that you love doing things that involve the community. What started that for you? Like, what built that? Was that your upbringing, your own family, your community? How did that start?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been shy my whole life.
Yeah.
We kind of forced them to do that.
Yeah.
You're so good with it, but you're so intuitive when it comes to that. I've seen your caricatures.
Maybe like my dad's an entertainer, you know.
Yeah.
He plays music. I see him on stage, and when he's up there, he's not stiff, you know what I mean? He's real like, hey, like he's talking to people, he'll crack a joke while he's playing, you know, like it's not just music coming from him. You'll hear some laughter and whatever. He gets people involved. So I've had good examples throughout my life. I don't know. I just try hard to not be like young, quiet me anymore. You know, I used to just keep my mouth shut everywhere I went. But
well, and I think like and Anika, feel free to interject. But I think what you're saying is, you know, sometimes when you do murals, you'll put little Easter eggs in there that are like, oh, I was talking to this kid and he really liked this, so I put that in there. Or, you know, they have this one picture in the front. I think it's really cool. I kind of slid that in there. Or in Art in Action is literally you and me walking around the room like, what do you guys want? And like these kids love tacos. Minkser finds a way to put Kirby sucking a taco on the mural. And dude, we were at the Boys and Girls Club today, and they're like, the mural at So High looks sick. The kids love it. The whole clubhouse is talking about it. So I don't think you can still be shy, but I think you're a sponge and you take those things and you find ways to work.
Observant.
Yeah, and I think it probably comes back to the caricatures to some extent, right? So I think that's pretty cool.
Like
Their
seeing the
context
compassion.
clues.
Yeah. You
It's
kind of
easy to pay attention sometimes if you know.
Well, we connected in that way too, working at the school that I work at as my day job, is just completely connected with. It's a holiday season, so like everyone's really busy. We're stressed out, worried about having to get things done. And Minx, you were there. Your dad even showed up to like just be a great support. And just even though I'd already known what the guys do and worked with them for a long time, you definitely tried to make it a very community involved thing when that is like literally my job. And he was giving that to me as somebody that we had hired to do a job. So that was really cool. And we've been cool ever since. That was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
Like that one was a job that you guys threw me and you're like, here's the budget. If you want to do it all yourself, and of course, like I'm not going to be greedy about it, first of all, and there was way too much work for me. Like, even Trippy got in on that one, like last minute. I saw him at the party.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? You want to go? Like, make some.
Becca
And
was there.
He was like a real big help throughout the whole thing, too. It was like very last second. Yeah, Becca was there.
It was nice. It was really nice. I had asked you, actually, our principal wanted an addition, just like you're saying, that little caveat that just makes it so special. He was done. It was done. We were ready to start our holiday, and my principal was like, can he please just add this last piece? And it's so cool because it's that Curious George in the corner right at the end. And I could just tell you did not want to do it, but he was like so sweet about it. So I kind of owe him. I owe him my life now.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I enjoy stuff like that when it's like, all right, I'll just do my best or whatever, because then that surprises me sometimes. The small detail things too. Curious George isn't a big character, and I did him real small.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is a challenge, but I like it because throughout the years I've proved to myself what I can do in certain situations.
Definitely, man. And I'll attest to that right here. I'll tell you straight up, like, you're one of the most versatile artists here in Las Vegas that we know. Like, when it comes to caricatures, murals, characters, like, as a part, graffiti letters, I mean, like, there's really no style that you can't do. And I think that's just kind of a testament to starting out at one place and making sure that you perfect that craft and getting comfortable in it before you get curious about another one, I guess. And so even in this last year, Minx, we've seen you now go from, like a graffiti artist, quote unquote, to now our most recent or not most recent even, we've done so many now since that one, but at El Dorado, we went very clean, very collegiate, all brushwork. We're using the Oculus to get the things up in there. We're using a paint sprayer to get down the basic background paints. And so we've really seen you evolve from just a graffiti artist to now where there's quite literally no part of a mural or any sort of professional installation that we don't think that you can handle, which I think is so cool, man. Like,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, through all this, you guys helped me every step of the way, like you said, like making things easy for me, prep-wise and stuff like that, or not needing to go buy all the paint before I go do the thing. People like me need that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not very motivated to go do everything. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that I can show up and just be creative is real helpful. It's like, it's something that I needed to get my foot in the door on this, because now I am going to go do all that stuff, and it's not that big of a deal anymore. I'm not worried about if I can. I've done it so many times now. It's like, let's do it right every time.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I mean, what you just said, like, that's like our why, is like, we want to work with artists that may not want to deal with all that. They certainly can, and they will now, like you just said. But it's like, hey, that's what we're here for. Come rock some murals, dude.
Especially in the start, like, it can be so discouraging to like think about all those things before you even get to be able to implement your design or do what So for the artists that are looking for that kind of jump, are looking for that motivation, do you have any words of wisdom for them? Anything that helped you out along the way that you think is like a good point to jump, to sink your teeth in, to start?
Well, for like murals in general, just make sure you prep that thing good. You can bring everything except for the tarp, and then you're painting all over their floor.
Yeah.
And then what, like so take that extra care, take that extra time, add that extra day to your quote, you know what I mean, that you're going to be taking care of the space. It's not that hard. It might be frustrating a little bit, but it ain't that much work,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us, I don't know, I can't speak for all the artists, but I think a lot of people are like lazy or just don't know that they can.
How far that dust can go.
Well, and how far this takes our career. Like, this.
Well, that little bit of extra.
Yeah, your
care,
little bit of extra adds so much more legitimacy to the brand because you're making sure that it's top notch every time you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I think every individual artist needs to know how important that is to them and to their craft as well,
A lot of people are new to spray paint.
Yeah.
That I've been meeting, like through Graffiti Park and stuff. So they don't really know what, like, maybe they do know that it's in the back of their head. And if they are being lazy about it, like, step it up. You know what I mean? Because seriously, like, I don't know. This is a fun gig. It is a very fun gig, but take pride in your work.
Yeah.
Because it is a gig. So, like, just come with your A game.
I feel that. Snip that one. So as we've seen from the Fearless letters to, the mural you did 2 weeks ago at Sohai, what, and Dan mentioned all these skills that are now on your little Batman utility belt. What has been do you think has been the biggest challenge or the thing you're most proud of? Maybe it was a challenge you overcame in the last 4 years of working with us.
Doubt, I think, like the self-doubt part. Like, like I said, with that Fearless piece, I was so nervous. I knew I was gonna rock it, but like I just don't know what the horizon has, and now you never know, do you? It's like, just, I don't know, face it, whatever it is,
Absolutely.
face it.
Yeah.
Look it straight in the eye and do it scared if you need to. You know? Like, so now it's like I come with so much experience now that the new stuff I'm just curious about now. Like, whatever's new coming, I'm like, I wonder what that's going to be like. I'm not like tripping inside like, oh man, I don't know, should I just call it off? No, like, go up there and see what's going to happen, like. The biggest thing was like talking to anyone. That class I did for the Boys and Girls Club thing, the very first art in action that I had a part in, I was sweating so hard, man, just so nervous.
It was a hot room.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know, I was I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I volunteered for that. You know what I mean? And then we've done like 8 of them since then, or however much, I don't know. But it gets easier, I felt it like one of the last times we were going for the first time, like to a club brand new, that like I wasn't nervous. I'm like pulling in. I'm like, look at me, not nervous.
Check me
I was
out.
all proud of myself.
Yeah, dude, this last design, I loved the second design you sent me on the little top. You said, sorry I can't be there today. Like, I'll see you next week, Minkser. I was like, yeah.
I don't want them to feel like whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, they met us. Now we're sending Dom and Lou. Like, who knows? They're probably just like, they don't even care about it.
Yeah.
A little message like that can go a long way.
That's huge.
Sometimes.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot. You're dealing with the demographic of students oftentimes that don't have that support, or maybe don't have that support as often as they should, or maybe, not in the way that they wanted to. So just that little recognition from a guy so cool, I think that really means something to them. That really does.
Well, Minks, I do want to kind of throw in a couple of cool little tidbits. So, straight person, man, like, you are the first artist that we've really felt, I guess, the impact that Graffiti Park has had on someone's life. And when I say that, like, we kind of brushed on it a little bit earlier on. There was a point when you were moonlighting as an artist, I guess we'll call it, and you still had a day job. And Dan and I are trying to hire you for gigs, and you're like, hey, man, I'm sorry, like, I've got work, this. And Dan and I kind of said to you, we were like, okay, what are you, what is the direct compensation over the course of a week? And if we are just rocking these 3-day projects, like, what are the chances? And I remember literally within a week, you would come back to me and you're like, so I quit my job. Like, I have some more.
I quit my job, so I'm free whenever. And Dan and I are like, oh, damn, man, we don't have any projects on right now.
I did that bat mitzvah thing.
Yeah. So, and like, we literally tell that story, like, dude, like, this guy, there's a reason you're like the lead guy. You're in on our staff meetings, you know. Where are we going with that? Sorry.
So I just want to tell, like, we have so much confidence and faith in you and in your ability to do that, even though you did it scared, even though, like you said, you're looking right down at this problem, and it's like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? And not only did you conquer that, but you've done it with flying colors now. And I think in the last couple of years, like, you've really found your footing as a full-time artist, and you're confident in saying that too. So can I just ask, from your perspective, what was that like?
Man, that was crazy. That was the most confident I've ever felt in my life, quitting that job. It wasn't because of anything you guys said. You know what I mean? It was, you had asked me a while before that, actually, if I could be lead artist. And my excuse was I had a full-time job. I didn't have a car. You know, I didn't know if it was doable. And that the quitting the job thing was already going to happen. That was just in the cards, man. They were doing me dirty, and I was feeling like a fool, you know what I mean? Like union rules. I don't want to get specific on any names, but union rules really screwed me over there. And I was 5 years in trying to level up. It wasn't happening, and I was like turning down jobs from you guys to go be there where they're treating me like that. And I was like, all right, I'm out. And then that wasn't the plan, to just be a full-time artist. I had a job lined up across the street at another casino. And when I went to the union, bartenders union, I ain't afraid to say that, they treated me like crap, dude. They were just like, we don't even know you, they said. You know, like I was going for a union referral, right? And she was like, we're not helping some dude off the street. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I was like, they sent me this email. She was like, save it. We're not helping some dude off the street. And I was like, okay, cool. And when I bounced out of there, the place called me back and was like, yeah, you need that. I was like, thanks for the offer. I'm not going back. I'll never go back. I was like, nah, that's not for me. Like, every bartender I knew there was like miserable with their job, even though like it's a cool gig, you know what I mean? They're all miserable because they want more. And I was like, that's not me. That's not going to be me. I'm not fighting for that position because this one was here waiting for me, you know? And I was like, you know what? Like, I feel great. I called you a little too hyped up. I was like, anything you need, you know, like,
yeah, you were on speaker.
Miscellaneous jobs, whatever, give it to me. I don't care. Like, I need the work right now. And you guys provided that. That was great. Thank you guys.
Love it.
So what do you got coming up, and where can people find you if they're interested in taking a look at your artwork?
As of right now, I'm only on Instagram, which is fine. I'm doing my thing as I can, trying to get better at this. But in the future, I will be rocking with whatever you guys got for me, whatever anyone's got for me. I just did a pop-up job this weekend for a dude going to Complex Con in a couple of days. And we got SEMA right after that. That's going to be fun.
Sir.
Yeah, me and Esol going to be rocking some stuff. That's going to be fun. And I don't know, just like I'm getting more comfortable with caricatures. Not saying that I want to do more caricatures, but that is something that I got in my back pocket. I'll always do that, I'm sure. And then the murals, man, just hoping they get bigger and better and whatever I can do for it, you know. Wherever I can be of assistance, you know.
I love it.
Really not trying to be the lead on anything, you know. It's just like let's just work.
So can we backtrack a little bit? I know Minkser had talked about the Art in Action program. For anybody still listening, Dan, would you mind telling them what the Art in Action program is?
It's our premier program for the Graffiti Park Foundation. The goal is to walk teens aged 10 through 17 through step-by-step how to design and install a mural. So we take them through the idea, curation process, the revision and mood board process, to then the technical skills of how to actually install those murals. And then the last week of the program, they actually get to help us install it. And so we've done, I believe, we've done the Lead Clubhouse, Kish Clubhouse, James Clubhouse, Reynolds Clubhouse, the Southern Highlands Clubhouse, and right now we are right in the middle of the Englestud Clubhouse. So our 6th clubhouse, And Minkser has been a part of every single one since the beginning. So he comes in and teaches them how to do some lettering and what you do, man. We can talk a little bit about it more now. It's like, for those listening and for you two that haven't been in the room, when I see them do this, is like we're literally telling these kids to draw like whatever they want to see on the mural, just on a white piece of paper. So they'll draw everything from the little 6-bar S thing on there to tacos to we try to get everything we can out of them. You know, we see a lot of like video game characters, flowers, things like that. And then Minkser collects all of these sheets of paper, you know, anywhere from 10 to 20 kids. And then in a week produces 2 potential designs based off of all their ideas. And then we have them kind of help us curate which of the 2 designs. And then they really end up usually favoring one and then taking elements from the other one and kind of mixing around. And then 2 weeks after that, Minkser helps them install that mural that they literally designed on the wall. So
what would you say is the most difficult in that process?
In that process, putting a bunch of random ideas together, you know, like for no reason Donald Duck is there, you know, like jumping on a Mario cube and stuff, like just stuff like that. And then like they get the design and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, this is what you guys gave me last week. Like you wrote it down. Yeah, for some of them they don't want to draw, so I'm just like, list it out what you want to see on them.
Okay.
Yeah, and they'll start.
So, Minks, talk to us through what does your creative process look like for coming up with, you know, basic sketches to send to a client?
My process, I stick to paper and pencil still when I sketch. And then like when it comes to sending them something nice, I'll take that sketch, take a picture of it, put it on the iPad and like straight up trace it, because me sketching on the iPad turns into like me doing 20 minutes of nothing because I just erased everything. I'm mad now. So yeah, like sketching on paper just feels right to me. So I'll start it there and then I'll move it over. Thanks to you guys, I know how to use an iPad now, do everything on its own little layer. If something needs to get moved over, I can move it over easy. But yeah, I just kind of try to fit everything into the wall space that we pick out at their club and then see if they like it after that, you know. Usually it takes them seeing it in color before they really believe me, you know. Yeah. They see the black and white sketches, they're like, I don't know.
It's funny the level of interest these kids have, you know. Some of them are kind of like, we give them the gloves and they do it for like 2 minutes and then they're kind of like, And then some of them are like, can I do more? Can I blend that? Can I do this, you know? Like the last one we did, we just had 3 shades of blue and they were really just laying the background down. Mm-hmm. And there were just a couple girls that were just like,
yeah, they came back to help. Yeah, that's so great. Yeah, I love that.
It was pretty cool.
It's been cool. And it's fun to be the dude that's like not your teacher, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna tell you nothing.
Minkser likes to uncle a little bit. He's like, we're grading this. And they're like, what do you mean? Yeah.
Down.
They're like, what do you mean? I'm not. And he's like, I'm just joking. Like he likes to clown him a little bit. It's pretty funny. What else, man? You just got into fishing?
Oh yeah. Fishing. I love it now. I'm hooked. I got my nephew hooked.
Yeah, how'd that start?
My buddy Rhino came down from Reno. Funny name
Rhino
there.
from Reno.
Nice.
Yeah, he stopped by one of the projects that we were at, the Pandas at Priest. Yeah, Priest. And him and my other buddy Kaz, they were going fishing after, and I just invited myself. So like they had an extra pole and everything, so I was out there getting caught in trees and stuff, and then but yeah, I think we went twice while Rhino was here, and he was like, do you think you'd do it again? You think you'd fish again? I was like, yeah, man, that was fun. And so he gave me the rod that he bought for his stay here in Vegas, you know, a little cheap thing. And then so yeah, after that I just started going. I was trying to hit people up to go, and then like it's hard to line up schedules and stuff like that, so I just started going by myself, like practicing even how to cast, because I didn't even know how to cast at that time. And it was great. So yeah, just little by little going by myself, caught my first fish, like a week ago.
Congrats, bro.
Yeah, big old catfish. I was scared of it.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, I'm going to bring some gloves next time. It's like, you'll get there. You'll get there.
Well, I think it's so cool. It's like anything else. It's somebody introduces you to it. You find out that you have some sort of interest to it. You spend some time alone. And I think that's the biggest part of like figuring out where you kind of fit into it and learn, like getting yourself as involved enough to where you can self-correct. You know what I mean? Like to where your friends go out there, teach you how to cast a line, do that kind of stuff. And then once you start to put it together, like put the pieces together, then you find yourself a competent fisherman for this analogy. Yeah,
for sure. I was glad that nobody really met up with me because it would have made me look like stupid. You know, I'm out there like, why'd you invite me out here? You don't even know how to cast. You know what I mean? So no, it's cool, and I do like the alone. I'm weird like that. I'll paint alone. I will paint in silence even. You know what I mean? Like,
have you ever like thrown a line in and then you're kind of just painting or drawing at the park waiting for something?
No, I'm too antsy with it right now. You know, I haven't even learned how to relax while fishing. I'm straight up. I'm just like, what is that?
We'll get you some.
The wind blows and I'm like, oh.
This monster. Yeah, that's cool.
We'll get you some night crawlers.
Yeah.
Some bobbers.
No, yeah, I got the bobbers and stuff. I'm still a little too impatient, I've realized.
He was like, we're rocking a Columbia PFC long sleeve one day. I was like, you ready to go fishing? He goes, yeah. And he whipped his tackle box out of his backpack. I'm like, oh, you're into this. And then we talked about setting up a Texas rig. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I'm trying to get out there with Minkser. He's fired.
It's so fun.
He's fired me up.
I think Becca's getting a little like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to hang out too.
Yeah.
I've invited her out, but I don't think she would enjoy it that much. Like just watching me fail. Like,
I'll show you how I tie the line. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it takes me 10 minutes to tie that thing off. Hook myself a few times.
It's all part of the process.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's great. I love the serenity of it. Like even right by myself. My nephew's been going with me recently, and that's been cool too. Cause like we like hanging out, but you know what do you do usually? So now we have an activity to like hang out and do. And so I just got him his first rod and reel. It's at the house right now. I need to string that up, and then next time we go, we'll have 2 rods because it's kind of crazy. We'll have to be both of us, and I'm just like, "How you doing? You want to? All right, he wants to fish now. Like, let him fish for 15 minutes." And I'm like, "All right, pass it back, bud. Pass that thing back."
Dude, that's amazing. It's amazing.
He caught a fish before I did. I was so mad. Oh man.
Do you guys do any art together, or do you ever like have him?
So that doodle game is from my nephew that I'm talking about. His little sister, him too. Like, but so my niece Gabby, her and I would do that doodle game. Like, I would draw a line, give her the paper. She'd draw a line, give me the paper.
I love it.
And we would just see what we can do. You know.
We do that in the art and action program.
Yep.
So Minkser, we usually draw a little squiggly line, and then Minkser draws something really cool out of it, and then the kids are like, "What?" And then last week we had Cody and Minkser, and so then they drew each other's lines and swapped, and so by the end of it, the kids were like, "What?" Yeah, it's pretty sweet how you guys did.
It's a fun game, man. It's like whatever exercise. It's cool, like especially with the kids, because like, you know, our art style, our art levels are way different. Mm-hmm. So that kind of puts everyone back into the same category, because now you got to work with their stuff, and what doodle can you come up with? Doodling is hard, man. I remember me as an artist younger, I was like, I thought perfection was art, you know? And as I got older and stuff, like when I hit a stopping point there, I guess, a plateau, I was like, I need to learn how to doodle, man. I don't know how to doodle. Mm-hmm. Seriously, like coming up with a character I didn't know how to do. And caricatures helped me with that, because like teaches you rules of drawing a face, you know? Mm-hmm. So now you know what's supposed to look like in this angle or something like that. So now I can come up with things on the fly a little easier. But doodling helped too. Like sometimes a doodle, random whatever, is something you would have never thought to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? But turns into something. Mm-hmm. So
did you have like a mentor along the way at any point in time, like before you were doing like big art projects?
My mom.
This? Really?
My mom's a great artist, yeah. Wow. She ran like a kids thing, Safe Key, and just community center.
Yeah.
So she was like the arts director there, and she was a great artist too. So.
And were you going to like the community center sometimes with her?
Yeah, yeah.
That's really
no
cool.
babysitters. Like, you know, my mom would fly home and come grab me, and then I was over there after school. You know, stuff like that. So yeah, I was there a lot actually as a young kid.
So just that piece of like giving back to the community, being a part of the community, being a kid in a space where you're kind of allowed to have that creative outlet. Excuse me. That was something that was early for you, and you feel like you've taken that with you with this art and action thing as well. Like,
of course, yeah, it feels full circle at this point.
Yeah, and
I didn't see that at first. I didn't like really think of
that.
it to be something, but here it is, and it feels good to say it. You know what I mean? To hear it, even when I heard you say all that, I was like, oh yeah, I do that stuff. Don't I?
Yeah, man. Like seriously, and it'd be lost on us to not mention the fact that like while you may be the lead artist for Graffiti Park, we feel the most comfortable, I would say, with you out of the majority of any of the artists that we work with in assigning a team to you. And assigning should be in brackets or whatever you want to call those, because you do integrate other people's styles, their ideas, they're in all of your pieces. And so I think a lot of the ones that we look at is like some of those collaboration pieces, even at like Seven Hills Health Hospital or any of the stuff that you've done with Cody, or like you're very good at integrating other people's art styles and playing off of them because you have so many different ranges of skills. Yeah.
No, it's nice to not like be so different from somebody when you're collabing with them, you know. It's also nice to do that. Like I don't know if my style of collabing with people is the best, because sometimes two different styles do look kind of cool next to each other and stuff, but I really try to just lend, you know. Like when you need the help, when it's your mural and you need the help from me, what are you doing? I'll watch you for a minute and be like, oh, okay, I see how you're doing that. And I'll just mimic that, you know what I mean? I don't have to be some whole different artist on your piece, you know what I mean? So,
and I think,
sorry, I'm sorry, you let the ego down a lot, like, which, or not let it down, but like you put your ego down to allow for those things to happen.
Course, yeah.
So how do you do that? Do you have any piece of advice for artists that would like to do that more?
Just be curious about how it's going to come out. Be careful of how it's going to come out, of course. Like, I think most people are worried that it's not going to be something that they like or something, you know?
Sure.
When I collab with people or something like that and I'm using somebody else's direction, I'm not, ego, throw that away. Like, you don't need that. Not with a lot of things in life, you know? But when I'm helping somebody with their piece, it's just like I'm really more interested in what this is going to turn into rather than like, oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Or like one of those things, like being scared to do it, you know, like you don't know what it's going to, who cares? I know you're a good artist because you're here, and I know I'm a good artist. So let's do this. Like, let's make it cohesive, you know? But yeah, advice, I don't know, man. I guess that's my piece right there, is like, don't try to have control over what everyone's going to do. I had to learn that too, man. Like a lot of this collabing and stuff, like I was like that a lot. Like, I don't know if it should be like that, you know, like trying to say, you know, like, but then I don't know. I've learned that over time, because watching people do what they do, I can just shut my mouth and you're going to come out with greatness because you're a great artist.
Yeah.
Maybe you do it differently than I do.
Yeah.
That's not up to me. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? Like, I have no stand. You know, I have no right to say anything about it. I've caught myself saying things to people, like Saeed. You know, I was like, "Why are you doing it that way? You should do it this way." And blah. You know, he's cool. He's just like, "Oh, you know, it's just the way I paint."
it's a good idea.
And then I came back around and saw what he did, and I was just like, man, my bad, dude. I don't need to say anything. You guys got this. You got this.
Do you think that a part of that at all comes from graffiti culture? Because do you feel like there's like a part of it where it's like, oh, like this is how you do these types of letters or designs, and then it's like as you kind of work your way up through your crew or you get more experience, you're saying that to the younger guys, not coming from a good place you're coming from. You're like trying to make them a better graffiti artist. Yeah, but I think, do you think that comes from that at all? And then you kind of have to...
in my shoes, because like I was the younger brother of everybody, you know, I'm always the youngest, but excuse me. But yeah, like a lot of the older dudes, that's how they would give me my motivation. Like,
Yeah.
you should do this. You should do this. You know, like trying to point me in a direction.
Right.
And yeah, there's like a lot of rules to you know, not rules, but just like pointers and stuff that work out better for certain reasons. So for me, I think it's a time thing. I do the backgrounds first, and then I do and also like I don't want to go back into the background after I'm about to finish this piece. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go be careful around the foreground stuff, you know? So that's just me and the way I paint. And if somebody else does it differently, that's on them.
Sure.
But yeah, I just know how to save myself time on the back end.
Right.
So, but yeah, like a lot of, like I'm the little homie to a lot of people, you know? So, my upbringing was a lot of that, like direction. Like, I don't know why you do it like that. You should do it like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I've seen you both ways, like Dan was saying, trash the ego, but I've also seen you very quickly realize, oh, I gotta take the lead on this.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's important too.
That's just work ethic, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's
that's
a job.
Right, exactly.
So excuse me if it hurts anyone's feelings.
Right.
But, like, you can just go home. And, like, I don't mean to be like that, but like sometimes it gets.
And sometimes it's like that.
Other people want to be all egotistical and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't even need you here, bro. Like.
Yeah, it's like, you know, and we talk about this as a team. It's like, yes, there's a feel-good element to what we do in the murals that we do. It should make it's art, like definition of art, right? You should feel something from it. But then once you start going down, it's like, yes, it's, you know, it's a job. There's a client involved. There's a deadline involved. And then beyond that, and you talked a lot about it, and Anika mentioned it, like being proud of what you're producing. Like you're not just getting the job done, but you got to be proud of what you're getting that job done.
Yeah,
So sometimes you can, you know, hey, you find yourself in a really productive, collaborative environment where there's no egos involved. And sometimes you got to throw some elbows out and, you know, get it handled.
Crash the boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been the youngest everywhere. Like, you know, my brothers and sisters are all like 20 years plus older than me, cousins, everybody. So when it came down to like work ethic, it was like that generation teaching me, like, you got to take pride in that, man. You got to do it right, you know? So now that it's something that, like, you know, when it's like I'm working at a bar, like whatever, man, like, nah, not really. I would put my all into that too, but not as much as I do now, where it's like, this is just my name here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this job that I just did for this guy, like, there's just certain things I keep in mind, and I taped off the handle to his thing. He just graffiti the whole thing is what he said, you know, like, but I taped off the thing so that doesn't stick when you try to slide it, and even taped the bottom thing where the step was, so it's not an ugly puddle of paint there or stuff, you know what I mean? So just little things to be, and this one was like in a dirt lot. he no prep, nothing. It was great. So I was just like, yeah, let me take a little bit of care for your thing to show initiative, you know, like
You hired the right person. Yeah. Mr. Minkser.
Those were great snippets. Those will make the Instagram.
Those are good. After hours, fellow hosts, how we feeling? Anything else we want to know?
Any artists you want to work with that you haven't worked with?
Ooh, that I haven't worked with?
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty. There's plenty of artists out there I would like to work with. I mean, I don't want to sound like corny or something, you know, like, but there's so many artists out there I would love to work with. Yeah, I don't really want to put names out, but I would just, like, you know, I'll say it like this, like, I want the homies to stop being so scared of this, you know. Like, I've invited people out and they flake for one reason or the other, and it's like, I hope people can stop. Like, what if it's just because you're like strictly graph, that's cool. I have nothing to say about that. If you think this is corny or something, that's cool. I don't care. But if you're like just nervous or something and you're like, I don't know, like, you know, man, I don't know. I'm so tired of saying it, but like, just do it scared. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what, I don't know. It doesn't really matter all that much when it comes down to it. If you fail a little bit, how much I've failed, like, just to get to a point where, like, I felt comfortable enough to say what's up to you guys to come paint, on a free gig. Like, it was a volunteer thing, what I mean? I did a lot of work up until that point. Now, at that point, from there, I've done a lot of work too. So all that fear stuff, I don't know, sit around and be scared, I guess. Go drink about it. Calm yourself down, man. Go do that thing, I didn't want to talk on a podcast. Like, this type of stuff scares me more than a job does now. Like,
Well, dude.
You nailed it.
It's been a pleasure. Very fitting that your first mural with us was the word fearless.
Heck yeah, man.
For real.
Yeah. That's all I knew about that mural was, like, it was going to say that because, like, it was me telling myself. And then the kids, too, you know what I mean? Like, I want something positive for them. Positive without being, like, corny, I feel like there's a lot of corny ways to motivate people. And it's like, fearless is cool. And I love the song from Pink Floyd, too. So.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Many people. You a wall person or Dark Side of the
Moon? Probably Dark Side of the Moon.
So you can find Minkser on Instagram at Minkser. That's MINKSER07. And if you're interested in checking out Minkser's work, you can find him there on his Instagram. You can also check us out at Graffiti Park _LV. He's all over our social media. And it's been a pleasure to have you here today, man. We're excited. You really are the man.
Thank you, guys. It's been great.